In Tegucigalpa, Honduras, Roberto, an unfortunate dad of two, is moved toward by a previous lovely lady, Giselle. Giselle offers to sign his small kids, Miguel and Rocio, to kid displaying contracts. He acknowledges and takes them to the photo shoot. In any case, when he gets back to get his kids, they are no more. It is uncovered that the youngsters were offered to be utilized as sex slaves. In Calexico, California, Tim Ballard is a specialist for the Country Security Examinations, HSI, where he captures individuals who have and circulate youngster sexual entertainment. The excruciating work negatively affects his own life, and this is possibly deteriorated when another specialist, Chris, brings up that they have captured numerous kid hunters, yet have neglected to save even a solitary youngster from being taken advantage of. Tim makes sense of that. This is on the grounds that the greater part of them are in different nations, however Chris' words stay with him. He addresses a hunter he captured, Ernst Oshinsky, and claims to be a pedophile himself. When he acquires Ohinsky's trust, he sets up a gathering with a dealt youngster, and can capture the one who bought the kid, Duke Buchanan. Tim salvages the kid, who says he goes by Miguel. Tim gets to know the kid and asks him for data, wanting to track down different youngsters. Tim discovers that Miguel's sister is as yet absent, and the kid requests that he save her. Tim sorts out for Roberto to get his child back, and Roberto separates since his girl is as yet absent. Miguel and Roberto return home, however not before Miguel gives Tim his sister's holy person Timothy jewelry. Tim begins searching for Rocio, and his pursuit drives him to Cartagena, Colombia. He meets with previous cartel bookkeeper, Vampiro, who presently attempts to save kids from sex dealing. In the wake of finding out about a kids' sex club in Thailand that was closed down, Tim concludes that this is the ideal main story to obtain countless Giselle's youngsters in a sting activity. Vampiro gets a Colombian cop, Jorge, and a rich resident named Paul to assist with Tim's central goal. Tim's HSI manager, Ice, can't give financing to the activity, and requests that he return. Tim, reluctant to leave the quest for Rocio, leaves. Notwithstanding, Ice is in the long run ready to persuade the Colombian U.S. government office to help with Tim's salvage activity. Covert, they persuade Giselle to sell them 54 youngsters, effectively capture the plotters in general and free the kids. Nonetheless, Rocio isn't with them. In the wake of grilling one of Giselle's partners, Jorge discovers that Rocio was sold as a captive to the progressive military of Colombia, settled in somewhere down in the Amazon regular locale behind hostile area. Jorge illuminates Tim that it is basically impossible to recover the young lady, in light of the fact that the district is to a great extent unmapped wilderness wild, and any radical region is a restricted airspace for the Colombian government. Nonetheless, Vampiro proposes that specialists can get into the area for clinical purposes, which gives Tim the plan to act like specialists. Jorge hesitantly consents to the hazardous activity. Tim and Vampiro endeavor to enter hostile area in camouflage, yet the radicals will not let the two of them enter, letting Tim to finish the mission B. Tim effectively accesses the adversary camp where Rocio is being held. He discovers that she is being utilized as the individual sex slave for the agitator chief, El Alacran, the Scorpion, and is additionally being compelled to squash coca passes on to deliver cocaine to subsidize the renegade conflict against the Colombian government. Tim figures out how to save Rocio, yet is compelled to kill El Alacran simultaneously. Notwithstanding being taken shots at by the radicals, Tim barely figures out how to save Rocio and gives her the jewelry Miguel gave him before. Rocio is at last restored her to her dad and sibling, and the family gets back to Honduras. An epilogue uncovers that Tim Ballard always avoided his profession in government policing. He acknowledges his better half for motivating him to make activity Underground Railroad, which keeps on saving youngsters from sexual subjugation right up till now, and has persuaded the U.S. Congress to pass regulations that require the public authority to help out unfamiliar nations on sex-dealing examinations. The epilogue additionally expresses that there are a larger number of individuals oppressed today than in some other time ever, including when subjugation was legitimate. A large number of these slaves are kids, and the U.S. is one of the top shoppers of kid sex slaves. The incredible true story of a former government agent turned vigilante who embarks on a dangerous mission to rescue hundreds of children from sex traffickers.